Greetings, everyone. So it's day 7, and day 7 of 30 days, where I'm taking 5 very specific minutes and meditating on a verse or two of Scripture. And the reason I'm doing this is based out of Psalm 1, verse 2, which says, "And on his law he meditates day and night." And the promises that that person will be like a tree planted by rivers of water. So health and vitality. So again, to meditate. And passage that I picked was, it's out of Mark chapter 5. And starting in verse 35, and I'm going to do 36 too. The scene here is Jairus is the ruler of the synagogue in Capernaum, and his daughter, 12 years old, is very sick and at the point of death. Now, there was kind of this thing going on between the rulers of the synagogue and the religious leaders and Jesus, a lot of envy, a lot of, hatred. And so Jairus must have been in a very desperate place in order for him to come to Jesus to ask for help. And so that's what happened, is he saw she's struggling for breath. He knows the end is coming. And so in a desperation, or maybe his wife had heard about Jesus, and in her desperation she said, "You've got to go." So he goes to Jesus and says, "Please come and heal my daughter." And so Jesus says, "Sure." And so they're on their way. And while they're on their way, a woman who had had a disease for 12 years, a constant bleeding problem, touches the hem of his garment and is healed immediately. And Jesus stops, and there's kind of this pause, and I'm sure Jairus was just freaking out because, this has taken a long time. And it says that while he was still speaking, that would be Jesus, some came from the ruler of the synagogue's house who said, "Your daughter is dead. Why trouble the teacher any further?" As soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken, he said to the ruler of the synagogue, "Do not be afraid, only believe." And then Jesus goes, and he, goes into the house. He puts out all the mourners, and he takes the little girl by the hand, and he says, "Talitha kumi," which means "little girl, arise." And, she comes back to life. But the meditation was specifically on verse 36, where Jesus says, "Do not be afraid, only believe." And I just feel like that's such a good word right now, because there is a lot of fear right now. And, we can put our hope and our trust in a God who has our future in his hands. Somebody said to me one time, we can trust the future to a known God. And, we can trust an unknown future to a known God. That's how it goes. And that's so true here, this was maybe a couple months back when the Lord kind of pointed out this verse to me, and it was a time when I was feeling fear, and to hear these words, "Do not be afraid, only believe," it was a very comforting word. And even just as I was, meditating on it, I was thinking about Jairus and how impacting those words must have been from Jesus. Do not be afraid, only believe. And so, there it is. A little short one to that tonight. And day 7, another 23 to go. But again, whoever winds up watching this, if you want to respond and kind of let me know maybe you could do a 30-day challenge too and share with me what God is showing you. So anyway, love you, and have a great day. When you watch this, it'll be day, I think. All right, God bless.